Okay, you ready? Go sit down.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming along with us as we enjoy a few more days of camping and exploring the Badlands of central Alberta. In our last video, we took you into the town of Drumheller, the dinosaur capital of the world, where we did the dino walk and visited the Miners Memorial Park. From there, we visited the amazing Royal Tyrrell Museum, where we spent hours learning about dinosaurs and walking through incredible displays of fossils that were found right here in Alberta. After the beautiful drive back to camp along the dinosaur trail, we were having a tough time trying to figure out what to see next. Well, we decided to visit the Hoodoos, take a tour of the Atlas coal mine, and then go ghost hunting at the end of the 11 Bridges of Wayne. Our first stop of the day takes us 16 kilometers southeast of Drumheller off Highway 10 to visit the Hoodoos and go for a walk along the Hoodoo Trail. Hoodoos take millions of years to form. Each hoodoo is a sandstone pillar resting on a thick base of shale capped by a large stone. They're formed by erosion caused by water, wind, and frost. Hoodoos are quite fragile and can erode completely if their capstones are dislodged. The hoodoos at this protected site stand 4 to 7 meters tall, but smaller versions can be found all over the Badlands. The shorter trail is about 1 kilometer long and takes you about a half an hour to walk. It's a little challenging, but as long as you're careful with your footing, you should be fine. Watch out for cacti and snakes, though.
What's his name?
Milo.
Hi, Milo. Well, safe trip down.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, stay with me. Milo.
Oh, I already got one.
Just bend your knees, honey.
Today.
Just bend your knees. Not that fast. Yeah.
Hoodoo, not to be confused with voodoo, was a type of magic. Aboriginals used hoodoo to communicate with evil and supernatural forces. They believed the hoodoos were evil giants turned to stone by the Great Spirit.
Bob.
That's true.
Our next destination is just 8 kilometers away. The Atlas Coal Mine Historic Site is an inactive coal mine that operated in East Cooley, Alberta from 1936 until 1979. It is home to the last wooden coal tipple in Canada. Built in 1937, the tipple is a 7-story coal loading and sorting machine. The site also has old mining equipment to explore and learn about, and a working pre-1936 battery-powered locomotive that you can go for a ride on. Reminds me of something you'd seen a burn. There are several original buildings to wander through, including the wash house, where the men showered and changed every day, the supply house, the lamp house, where the battery packs for their lighted helmets were stored, and the mine office. The Atlas coal mine is the last of 139 mines that once ruled the valley.
A hot water pipe and a cold water pipe.
You would have to crouch to take a shower.
nose level. Even lower.
There are several tours available to take. We chose the underground tunnel tour. We actually climb up to go underground. First thing we need to do is get our lighted miner's helmet and our battery packs before we head out.
We're getting ready to go into the mine. We'll see you there.
Alright, so this big wooden building here is a tipple. It's like a processing plant. It is mostly used to sort the coal into different sizes and then to store it for later until it is bought and ready to be transported.
Our guide will take us into the tipple, up the inclined conveyor tunnel, then outside to follow in the footsteps of the miners as we climb the steep and rugged trail to overlook the Badlands. Then we step inside the dark abyss of the Atlas No. 3 mine portal.
Alright, so we're halfway up the hill. You guys are doing great. And we stop here because this is where the primary gantry goes from above ground to underground. So behind me here, there is an underground tunnel. However, because of the high erosion rate of these hills, it has become very unstable and the ceiling has come down substantially. So we are not going to go through there for our safety.
Thanks.
We are going to go out this door and go the rest of the way up the hill.
Oh, we're doing it outside.
Alright, so this path here is called the Miners' Trail because they had to walk up and down these stairs every single day on their way to work.
That's where it goes in from the outside, huh?
Not anymore.
Yeah, you can see our train from up here. A little black box on the track is called Linda. She's about 90 years old. All right, so this is the top of the hill. We made it. I promise there is no more uphill from here. So this is the blacksmith shop, but right now the other tour is in there. So let's go see the mine entrance.
Okay.
Come together.
It's quite dark in there. We're gonna head in. You're gonna want to turn on your lights. If you're any taller than me, probably watch your head. Like I said, the mine shafts were not made for tall people. Actually, a very, very big piece of space here. So, if we look at the scale, 1 inch on the map is 200 feet in real life, which means that we are only about this far into the mine, probably a 1 finger width there. And this tunnel is 4.5 kilometers long and about 2 kilometers wide here. So, hundreds and hundreds of the smaller tiny tunnels down here. It was a lot. About 160 kilometers of the tunnels did have train track on them. So you can see even here underneath all the mud, we are standing on old rail ties. Now, depending on the year and how well the mine had done and what their demand was for that year, they would have had probably about 3 different kinds of transportation going on down here. So, real coal on the inside. So, in here, you're welcome to reach in and pick it up, shovel it if you want. We can see all the different sizes of coal. Now, all of this coal is a softer, lower grade of coal. It's called subbituminous coal, and it's really easy to break. It's really soft. You can just break chunks of it off, which means it wasn't great for heavy-duty uses, but it was perfect for domestic stuff. Heating homes, cooking food. Some of the smaller power plants could use it to generate electricity for the smaller communities. So that is what they used with this stuff. So it was all used for domestic heating, meaning the size really only changed how much you spent on it, therefore who was going to buy it. So the big stuff, the lump coal, would have been extra expensive, so really only the super rich people or people with giant buildings to heat would have been using this stuff. This is egg coal. Most families probably would have been able to afford this. It's about the size of 2 fists, more like an ostrich egg, really. Then we have nut coal. Let's see if I can find a good one. This is a good one. It's like a really supersized walnut here with the shell still on. Next is stoker coal, about 2 thumbs in size, and then all the powdery stuff is called slack coal. So the slack coal would have been dirt cheap, but it also would have burnt really, really fast. You'd have to be constantly shoveling it into your stove. It just wasn't convenient. So most people wouldn't even bother with the slack coal. If you had a normal, small, single-family home or not a ton of money, you'd mostly be using the stoker and the nut coal. Egg for the bigger families with bigger homes, and lump for the ultra-rich. Will make your hands black when you touch it. That is okay. Oh, we have our lovely pony here. Her name is Blindy because we forgot to paint eyes on her. But she is actually named after a pony who worked down here underground. So the pit ponies, which were the ones who worked underground, their jobs were to pull the coal cars. So they'd get hooked up to the end here. Somebody who was the pony driver would sit right here driving it, have 1 foot up on the pony, 1 foot on the rail as a brake, and that was how they pulled them in and out. All right. Okay, well, then we will explain what a blacksmith is. So the blacksmith is anybody who works with all the metal and stuff. So he made all the tools, or he would at least repair the tools. I'm sure you could buy stuff from him as well. So in here, he would have had a fire. This is his forge. It would have been burning really, really hot all day. And say one of these had broken, or it got dull, the tip had kind of fallen off. You could then take a pincher and hold it in the fire. And when metal gets really, really hot, you can then mold it into a new shape. So what he would do is when it was red, red hot, he'd put it into this mold here and then hammer it back into the shape it was.
So let's see where Milo's been. What's she doing? His ear is sticking out. Open the door. What you doing in the driver's seat? You want to come with? Okay.
On our way back to our campsite, we decided to make a quick detour along the winding 6-kilometer-long road known as the 11 Bridges to Wayne. Yes, there are 11 one-lane bridges to cross to get to the small hamlet of Wayne, Alberta, home to about 27 residents and possibly a few ghosts from the coal mining boom of the past. There are hand-painted numbers from 1 to 11 painted on the bridges to help you find your way should you get lost. Between bridges 9 and 10, you'll come across the historic Rosedeer Hotel and the Last Chance Saloon. The hotel was built by the Rosedeer Coal Company in 1912, with the saloon being added the following year. The saloon is filled with old pictures and memorabilia from the coal mining days of the past and is a favorite stop for a burger and a beer. It's also a favorite spot for fans of the paranormal. It's said the Rosedeer Hotel is haunted. Well, we didn't see any ghosts, but that doesn't mean they didn't see us. We're back at our campsite at the 11 Bridges campground, and everyone is a bit hungry, so I better get supper started.
Okay, tonight's supper is strip loin, roasted tomatoes and zucchini, stuffed mushrooms, and loaded baked potato. And how are you enjoying your meal? All right, how about you, baby? You like the meal too? Says, yeah, it looks good.
Delicious. Come on, bud.
More gold.
Dad, pick up my bone.
Thanks for spending time with us as we explored the Badlands of Alberta. This is our third visit to Drumheller, and we still have lots we haven't seen or done. We'll definitely be back. In the meantime, we hope you've been inspired to do some exploring of your own, because adventure awaits.